Three, two, one. Hey, how's it going, guys? This is the afternoon podcast with your boys, the G team, with your host Ari Nye. To the left of me is Lior. To the bottom left is Max Suter, and under me is my brother Aaron. We got some topics to talk about today. There's some pretty good ones, I think, this time. Help you actually stick around a little bit longer.
I think they're not sticking around because the intro, bud. They see the intro, they're like, yeah,
was
I'm good.
without emotion.
Hold on, he's got his brother Aaron in here. Hold up, I'm out of here.
All right, hold on. So let's start with something that's actually pretty interesting. Maybe this will captivate some people. Let's talk about how our country is failing to give us a vaccine.
Well, you guys can speak on that. I can't really.
Well, no, you can, because then you can offer a perspective of somewhere where it works. Perhaps. So, I will start. I guess I'll start because it's like something I decided to bring up. Like, California is not doing that great. And it seems like even medical professionals are struggling to get the vaccine right now. And I don't really understand why that's happening. Like, my eye doctor is telling me that he just recently got a vaccine. And I know that there's a lot of nurses that have not yet gotten the vaccine. And it just doesn't really make any sense. Why? Where's all our money? What's up, Ari?
Oh, I was told to register to get the vaccine by my coworker. He's like,
dude,
pressuring me really hard.
Fuck that motherfucker.
He's like, you should register right now.
You should tell him to register. You should tell him to register for a dick in the ass.
Hide your wife, hide your kids. We got a virus on loose.
Well, so anybody else has a different perspective on that? Aside from some pretty funny comments.
Well, what I saw in California thus far, I think it was maybe like a month or 2 months ago when they started really trying to get the vaccine out, was that Governor or Senator Newsom was saying that Governor Newsom was saying that we don't have the funds to do that right now, that we're in a bit of a pinch to get everything going, which is pretty crazy, being that California has some of the highest taxes in the United States.
How do you guys even believe these people? Like,
we don't.
Newsom's been going outside and like going to parties and shit for the past year.
Yeah, dude.
And every single time he gets caught, he's like, "Oh, my bad, guys." Like, dude, stop.
And the worst part is it's so blatant, and I don't really I really hope people just give back to him, like when it comes down to the election time, and just don't let him get reelected, because
dude,
look at this guy. Like, this guy
don't even matter anymore.
Well, that would be a very bad way to look at this state of our country, and I would rather not see civil war than see civil war. So,
yeah, well, there's some people that want to see civil war. So.
Yeah, but I hope there's more
it's
of us
not
that don't
me, by the way. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I hope there's more of us who don't.
Bro, people were waiting to go to civil war over the fact that Taco Bell removed the nacho fries, bro. They think they brought them back.
The Crunchwrap Supreme, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can go for a Crunchwrap right now.
Yeah, dude. I'd take that over vaccine any day.
Aaron, so how would you describe the experience of actually having a healthcare system that functions?
It's functioning a little too perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, usually there's problems and stuff because, nothing's perfect, but everything's flawless. And I'm a little skeptical, you know what I mean? Also, like, the leader of our country got paid by Pfizer to, like, give this vaccine. and everybody hates the guy anyway, but now everybody wants to take the vaccine. So again, it's a little controversial because like, you know, this overlord that you hate, that you say is like, you know, fucking the country, is, you know, being paid to give the vaccine. Everybody's like, okay guys, let's go get the vaccine.
It sucks. It's
You know what
because
I mean?
BB knows the truth. It's because BB knows the truth that he can't be freaking like replaced right now. He knows there's no real competitor who's gonna be able to do anything to him. Like people
Yeah.
are like Gantz is not gonna survive the next election. Like I already know he's gonna drop like a very significant portion, because that's always what happens to like ex-generals who decide to go into politics. Like it does not
Yeah,
really
but it's
work
not
that
really
well for
about,
them.
it's not about the election, it's about the vaccine. Like everybody that doesn't like BB, you know, like, okay, let's like move it back to America for a second. Remember like 3 months ago when Trump said that a vaccine's in the works, and everybody said, oh, if Trump releases a vaccine, I'm not taking it. Remember that? 3 months ago, everybody
Yeah.
said, I'm not taking it. If okay, so now like put that to like BB in Israel, right? So there's people that are like should be saying like, hey, I'm not taking it or something like that, but everybody's like agreeing to it. You know what I mean? Like I'm really suspicious about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly, I read a lot, like on some comment sections on Facebook. It seems a lot of Israelis are not happy about the vaccine and are not trying to take it. But there's a very like loud voice, I guess, in the crowd
Yeah.
that says
There are good people
vaccinate.
who are getting the vaccine.
Dude, bro, I had this stupid coworker like talk about the vaccine. He was like, dude, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get the second vaccine. I'm like, bro, you just injected that shit into your bloodstream, and now you're not gonna get the second one. Like, you stupid
Yeah,
as fuck.
like the second one is what makes it work. The
It's
first
just
one
got a
doesn't
dead
work.
virus
That's why you
floating
don't.
around.
It's not even a dead virus. That's why people are scared of this vaccine. It's because it's a different type of vaccine. It's an mRNA vaccine.
Yeah, dude, your babies are gonna grow with like wings and fucking tails and shit.
I don't know about that. That's pretty. If that happens, your immune system was fucked up from the first place. Like, you know what I mean? If your immune system works, it's gonna attack anything that's foreign, even if it's
Well,
our
yeah,
mRNA.
but it's not gonna attack your own DNA, because if it does that, then you're fucked.
Yeah, it will if it sees. That's exactly what it does to cancer. Your body tries to fight it off. Just the fact it can't, because cancer multiplies so fast. That doesn't multiply that fast because they didn't design it to. That's literally the whole point. It's supposed to multiply a little bit. Your body sees, oh, what is this new protein, and then just destroys the shit out of it, and then it remembers to destroy that thing, and you get sick. And supposedly you should be able to destroy that virus. You should be able to destroy that protein because that's what it survives on.
Dude, you know what I think, bro? I think everybody should just wear masks all the time, like 24/7.
Two
The rest
masks,
of our lives.
of course. 2 masks, man. 2 masks, and
Yeah,
maybe
one on the mouth,
maybe
one on the
hazmat,
butthole.
maybe hazmat. You know, like maybe hazmat. I don't know, man.
Eventually, we'll evolve to the point where we'll grow
have
like an extra layer of
biological mask. Just a little skin flap over our mouth.
Or just grow a beard out, and then you'll have your own filter. Breathe out your
No,
nose.
that wouldn't be approved by the CDC. So
Depends on how big your beard will be. Just gotta give it 50 years.
What if you're one of those people who can like put their lip over your nose? You ever seen that? The people like and can like wrap their whole mouth over.
Oh,
their
I've
nose?
seen that. I've
Does
seen
that
that. That's crazy. That's
Does
so
it count as
crazy.
a
if you have
mask?
like no jawline.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it
I
does,
think
bro.
that's one guy. There's
No, there's 2 people who can do it. I've seen at least 2 people who can do it. I think it might be a genetic thing, like something around here, around the jaw, or something around here that doesn't just lets.
They have a whole convention for it. It's not just 2 people.
Oh yeah,
There's like a whole convention for it. Yeah.
and people are trying to hold it like the longest. People are trying to hold on to their nose for the longest time.
Dude, you could put a full chin inside a vagina. You could do that.
You can't use a few.
Yeah, I guess any skin flap would work, right?
Right. Including my mean 1-incher.
Yo, where's your video, my guy?
They
Yeah,
call
like-
that disgusting.
It's just like the video's not like seeing my face for some reason. You see, it's like flickering.
Yeah, dude.
There
Like,
we go.
turn off the green screen thing.
You turn off your green screen, motherfucker.
No, like the green screen button, and it would like recognize that you are like different in your background. I'll try to like eliminate only the light. That's what I have on. If I said I have a green screen, my jacket would be part of this right now.
Max hasn't said shit. Damn.
Yeah, bro. What do you think about the vaccine, dude? I'm getting it.
Me?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get it too.
Dude,
I'm just hoping that
my
whatever
mom and
it does
dad
to my
scared me
automatic
to not get it.
It's kind of like works on me like Spider-Man. I hope I just become like an Aquaman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a mutant. I can live in water. I
Dude,
want to
this
find.
guy's gonna have sonar coming out of his forehead,
Yeah, dude.
talking
Yeah.
to fucking fish and shit.
Yeah, bro. I want to find
Dude, he's
Atlantis.
gonna be talking to those stanky pussies. He's gonna be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
talking to those ratchet hoes.
All right. So I'd say the second topic would be the pursuit of happiness.
Ooh. Are you talking about the song?
I'm talking about
You talking about the movie?
that man in the silhouette. Oh,
No, I'm
out
kidding.
there. It's time to take it away.
All right.
Good point, bro.
What do you want to say? What would you want to start? Since
Who's
you brought it
going
up.
first?
Well, the
Well,
man who brought
I
it up.
This guy doesn't know about happiness. He ain't happy. Look at him. He looks
Yeah,
miserable.
I'm one of the most depressed
boy's
motherfuckers
got-
in here.
My boy's got like black lights in his house, dude. He's gotta make sure he doesn't have cum all over the ceiling.
Bro, Aaron, why don't you just take a plunger, bro, and just plunge all that bullshit, dude? What are you talking about, bro? I'm clogging right now. What is this?
Nigga, I'm adding more value than you, bro. You're just standing there. I'm trying to cover for both of us.
Yeah, bro. Bro, I'm just trying to recover, bro, right now.
Recover from what?
I'm trying to bottle my thoughts, dude.
Shit, you
Said
want to like
pursuit of
shake up the bottle?
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to think like, okay, so he brought up pursuit of happiness, and before we could speak about like pursuing happiness, I guess we gotta get to like the bottom of what is happiness. If anybody could really put a definition to it, like besides the definition you could find online. So in your guys' words, what is happiness for you?
I guess it would be like you feel content in everything at the same time
Yeah.
for a short time.
You feel content with every single decision you've made that led you to the point where you're at.
Not every
No. Like you do. Like you could appreciate the mistakes that you did. I feel like that's like.
Damn, I wish I didn't get that bitch pregnant.
Well, I mean, it depends on how
happy,
bad
though.
your mistakes were. You know what I mean? But
Well, you can still be happy.
yeah, you can still be happy. But my
with some
definition
pregnant
of
hoes.
being content is kind of that, of being happy. I would say. It's kind of drop that in the middle.
But is being content truthfully being happy in your eyes?
No, I think like to be happy, like have to be like I would describe it like the Buddha, like a Buddhist would describe it to you. I think you know what I mean. It's like the elevated point. It's like where you feel like you're living in the moment, but at the same time you're just like everything is just at peace. Like everything is just like nothing is bothering you. Like you don't have anything that's gonna like any bad thoughts that come to your mind in that period. Like you're completely like in with what you're doing. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you can be working out, it could be like working, it could be like the job you're doing, right? It could be reading a book, but like you're completely content in what you're doing. That's just I mean, I feel like that's just being happy to me. It might be very simple, but I try to focus on the simpler things in life.
Isn't it like a combination of things though? It could be like excitement or amusement or
No, I feel like excitement dies out. Like if you're
like
happy, like you'd be
laughter.
happy for like a day. Like you woke up and you feel good. You know what I mean? Like you're ready to just send the positive radiation to everybody around you. You know? It's excitement, like it's like you jump up and you jump straight down like 5, 10, 15 minutes later. You know what I mean? Like depends on how excited you get, depends on what you do, but it dies out very fast. But being happy is like something that you try to achieve for a longer time, which is why it's really difficult because it's kind of impossible because life goes in cycles and shit just happens. Like
Well,
you
I
can be
mean,
happy here
it's like
and you're always down.
it's like trying to fall asleep. How many times have you tried to fall asleep and it doesn't work? You can't try to be happy. You have to just set your life up that way. And if it happens and you happen to be happy sometimes, then good job.
I feel like that's a way to look at it, but I feel like it's also about like finding what makes you happy, like just doing something that makes you happy. That will
Sure.
like
Yeah,
and
but
that, but
wouldn't you
not
read that more?
everybody's lucky.
Wouldn't that be more
to
like
find that.
enjoyment?
Hmm?
Wouldn't that be more like enjoying? Like that'd be under like enjoyment. Because like let's say even if you find something that you do that makes you happy, okay, it'll make you happy for even let's say prolonged 20 years. But then one day after 20 years, that starts dying off. So that enjoyment is not as like peaked and
Switch,
down as like let's say being excited.
switch,
But
switch.
it could
Pick
still
up and
come
switch.
to an end.
Pick up and switch. Yeah, of course. But that's why that's what we're talking. Like life goes in cycles.
But if that defines your happiness, then
But you can just go
you
and
understand what I'm
switch.
saying?
But that's what I'm saying. You can go and switch. If you worked the good place for 20 years, you know what I mean? You're good at what you're doing. You got paid solidly well. You could go and do something else. If, considering that you didn't blast all your money away.
I don't think it's just like what you do. I think it's also the people that you're around.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that of
if
course. It's not
people,
just what you do, but I feel like it's what you do is a big part of what like makes you happy.
if if you hang out with people that like, they enjoy you being around, then you're happier too. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you belong somewhere. So like you have to be content and you have to feel like you belong.
Maybe you got a point with belong. I don't know. I kind of take a read from both of you guys, but I perceive it in a different sense. Because if you're talking about belong like with people, friends can always like change. I mean, everyone would love to say that their friends are going to be there for a lifetime, and everybody can hope that depending on how close they are with their friends, but that's also not guaranteed. So I feel like that's again measurable like enjoyment. Because yes, you could pick yourself up, is what Leo was saying, and get another job. But then what? For that, let's say, few days that you don't have a career, for that month or two till you decide what's the next thing you want to move on to, then you understand maybe you could be content with that. But then wouldn't that lead from like a more internal peace than just enjoying what you do, or enjoying like the tasks that you put into your day, or enjoying the like yielding of your work, I guess you could say? Because there
I
would
think
be
enjoying it is a big part of it. I think enjoying stuff is a big part of just being of being happy. Like you have to enjoy
of
like
life.
yeah. Yeah, like you can enjoy if you enjoy aspects of life, certain aspects of life, you know what I mean? Like waking up hearing the birds like chirping in the morning, you know what I mean? Or like going out on walks when the sun is just coming up, and like it just like comes up as you walk, you know what I mean? Or run or work out. Like those things could like someone could find enjoyment in. And that,
enjoyment. But that's exactly what I'm saying. So
but that brings
does enjoyment
happiness.
equal happiness. Or does happiness stem from? That's why I was asking, what is happiness?
I think
'Cause if you're measuring
happiness is
happiness
finding
on
enjoyment in
emotion.
everything. It's an emotion, but when you find enjoyment in everything, you're just consistently happy.
Yeah, but you can't be consistently happy
No, you
in
can't.
like the real world.
No,
Well,
theoretical.
I mean, that depends
It's
on
all
your
theoretical.
perception of happiness.
I'm sad as fuck right now.
Hey man, listen, life is just a cycle. It's a constant struggle. Like I said, you are up and you fall down.
Well, let's think about it this way, dude. When you're a caveman, you know what I mean, and you're like hunting your deer or whatever you're hunting, you're not like, I don't think you're content. I don't think a caveman even thinks, hey, you know, I like my life. He's just like trying to survive. So
Yeah, you can be
so
content. Yeah, that's
bet-
like part
I
of
bet he's-
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
but he can be content with like, hey, you know what? I'm okay with eating this deer for like a couple days. You know, I worked really hard. You know what I mean? Like in that way, he could feel content, but not about his life. You know what I mean? Because I don't think he knows any other way.
Well, whether you know a different way or not, I feel like my take on it is that neither of these things like have to do with happiness. That's why I was like, what is happiness to you? I still haven't pinpointed exactly how to measure or how to provide a formula to what I believe is happy. But I think the word content does play into it. And I think that some of the things you guys are saying in terms of enjoying, like I can eat this deer for 3 days, maybe like you could have days or certain things that make your day more significant. So the day is more significant, but I don't know if that truthfully changes like happiness. Because then that means that happiness could go on an up and down on a daily basis, depending on many variables. So some days could be more happy, some days could be less happy.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
Happiness
how
is
it
kind of like
is.
an ongoing thing. Like my perception of happiness is like if I wake up in the morning, I don't know, I have this like feeling integrally. I can't pinpoint it, but like I'm content. And through being content, that's what I'm saying. I can't pinpoint what's happiness, but I guess somewhere I feel happy.
Yeah.
But that's the only part that I ever measure happiness with. All the other things that happen, some things could be more significant, some things could be more memorable, some things could be more life changing. Certain things could teach you a lot more than others, but none of those things are going to change my baseline of that feeling I have when I wake up. Like that's always there. So the day can get better, more significant, more enjoyable, but the actual underlying happiness can't change. If we're adding other variables like what I'm going to eat or what I'm going to do or the job I do or things that make me enjoy it, wouldn't that steep that line, that bar that I wake up with, wouldn't it steep it and make it like less that day?
So wait,
Based off
you're
of
saying
what we're
that
saying.
you're happy when you wake up.
Yes. From there, my day can only get better. It can't get worse. It could be more tough. It could be less significant. It could have more challenges in it, but that won't change the integral feeling that I have when I wake up in the morning. That will stay no matter what. It's like telling yourself in a bad situation, okay, everything is still good. And if you look at the bad as good, it can only get better. It can't get worse.
Well,
You understand? Anything
and
that happens
that's a
after if
place.
you're at rock bottom, 0, if you're at like 0 and you tell yourself that's okay, it can only get like better from there. It can't get worse. It's like you're kind of like at a good point if you look at it like that.
So what you're saying is you wake up and you feel like rock bottom?
No, I wake up and I just feel great, dude. I feel like nothing can change that. Like no matter what, doesn't matter how the day goes, it'll still be great. Like I'm alive. This purpose, like I can't pinpoint once again happiness. That's why I brought up the topic and I was, asking you guys, what is your like take on happiness? What is your definition? Because I still can't put a pin on it, but to me, that's the closest I can get to trying to understand happiness. Because the rest is content. I mean, I feel like there's somewhere a sentence like you should enjoy life. Then you should try to create as many memories and experiences with as many people as you possibly can in life. But if your only sole purpose is to seek happiness, I feel like you'll stray from your serious goals because life is supposed to be the happiest thing in the world. I mean, there's so many challenges and there's so many things that people go through that I guess you could say everything in life is not fun. And you can't just be living fun. There's times when stuff is serious and you need to go through that serious stuff. If it was all fun, then you wouldn't learn certain things about yourself. You wouldn't, like, I guess, say progress. if everything was just fun and games.
Well, that's the reason why I'm saying it's like for most people, it's a cycle. You know what I mean? It's
But does that
they,
cycle determine
but, but no, yes, because most people let outside things get to their happiness. Like a lot of people like, and you could trying really hard and you can be like the best person at it and it'll just come out of nowhere and then you'll be like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it just comes out of nowhere, even in the strongest of minds. You just have to fight it constantly. And I feel like that's just part of the struggle of trying to be happy.
You can't try to be happy though. That's what I'm saying, man.
You don't try to be happy. It's part of the struggle. Well, yeah, you do. You can. Because you have bad thoughts. You do have thoughts that bring you down. You do have thoughts
That's not trying to be happy.
But that is by definition because you are actively doing something that is hurting your happiness and you're getting rid of it. So wouldn't that be
Would that be hurting your
trying-
happiness, hurting your enjoyment?
No, hurting your happiness because there's bad thoughts that come to your head sometimes. You just gotta filter them.
Dude, if you ask an old person what happiness is, they'd probably say something completely different than what we say. Honestly.
Well, that's the best part. We would have to live life, get more experience, and then our perspective would change about it. If you ask this question in 5 years, my perspective would probably be different. That's the best part about humans. We do not stagnate, we grow.
Mute Helen Keller. What do you think?
Who are you talking to?
Ari's just sitting there. I've just been waiting for his take on it.
Well, I mean, I started earlier before you guys really got into it. And
you could interrupt the conversation.
No, I still think it's what I said earlier. It's a combination of things. It's like amusement, enjoyment, excitement. Because like, let's say someone's like really down one day, and they walk up to their coworker and they're like, "Shit, man! Like I just broke up with my girlfriend," and like he's all sad, and the guy's like, "Hey, listen, man, it's gonna get
talking about himself right now."
No. He's like, listen, man, it's going to get better. Don't worry about it. Try not to think about it. That's not going to help. But if the coworker turns and like cracks a smart ass joke and just for a second, you know, you get some amusement and your mind gets excited and the chemicals in your brain start moving around, making all those pretty colors and shit. And that's what basically where the happiness comes from. And that's what it is. It's that 1 second that you got from that chemical down. It's that skyrocket.
Yeah. I heard that's what psychologists tell people who have depression is that you try to make fun of your situation. Sometimes humor helps you deal with that situation for bad situations. When you feel depressed.
You know what cures depression, bro? Go out for a run.
This dude with the running.
Endorphins. Bro, endorphins don't give a shit about your depression. They'll just pop up into your head and you'll forget you're depressed an hour later after you run. I'm dead serious.
That's the best part about working out, dude. You just go, you like, doesn't even need to run. Just go do some push-ups, some like crunches, some bicycles, you know what I mean? Like do some crazy stuff, like with some calisthenics, some pull-ups.
Anyway, yeah, the happiness can come in a lot of forms. It isn't just in one way, you know. Happiness can come in the form of love. So if you're like with your significant other and they come up to you and like they pull out like 3 flowers out of nowhere, like again, there's that excitement, that amusement, you know. You're like,
I wouldn't be excited by that.
It's a surprise, you know, like oh my God, this person cares about me. And then you just like, boom, that's where the happiness comes from. So I feel like,
wouldn't you have happiness prior to that? Like all these are kind of just like how do you call it? Emotions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you would be enjoying that. I mean, there's a reason why it's
You're telling
significant
me
other. There's a
happiness is
significance
an
that comes from that.
emotion?
Happiness might be
Something
an emotion
new?
too, but that's what I'm saying. So what is the actual
He says
pinpoint of
he
it?
just
For
said
me, I don't
might
know
be
if
an
I feel it as an
emotion.
emotion. I feel like it just comes like a lot more internal. All the other words that we're mentioning, I guess I can relate to a lot more as an emotion than happiness. Because I truthfully just always feel, I guess you could say, content and happiness, I feel like are so far the two words that come closest together. To me, closer than happiness and enjoyment.
I think it's just inner peace, man.
Yeah, it's a peace of
Mm.
mind,
What you were
serenity.
stemming from earlier, yeah. That's closer. Serenity.
Bro, you
Yeah.
gotta
This
bring
man
those
Max
brain
just sounds like a
cells
guru.
I guess if you don't have like conflicting thoughts about anything, that means you're happy. You know what I mean? So like it has to be in like a peaceful like way. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm Hitler, I'm happy. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm fucking living my life the way I want, and I'm like, and I like it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't change a thing. That's happiness.
Things can always change, but yeah, I think more like the inner peace, like truthfully being one with yourself, and truthfully, I guess you could say, believing that you have the right understanding and implication in your own life. So obviously, you can't judge if anyone's correct in terms of really what their view of life is. But if you truthfully feel in sync with the view that you have, when you wake up, you'll always be content and happy. That's like something
Yeah.
that I'm just saying, like, it can't change. All the other emotions we brought up, I feel like can change in like examples. Happiness, for some reason, to me at least, it doesn't change. Like just upon if I have a bad day or a good day, the internal happiness won't really change. It'll just be less memorable, more significant, less significant, sometimes less comfortable, more comfortable. You know what I mean? In terms of the
Yeah.
situations you're put in. Internally, it can't get worse. Like for myself at least. That's what I view as happiness. I still can't pinpoint exactly how to describe it, but it's the best I can.
Are you happy right now?
Am I?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, bro. He woke up this morning.
No
All I
further
need.
questions.
No further questions asked. It's like that. It's like that
I rest
prayer
my
in
case.
the morning.
All right. So I guess we left to that pretty open-ended because again, like nobody can really truly define what happiness is unless you've lived a full life, I guess.
And we're not the
Not
Dalai
even,
Lama.
bro.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not
maybe
Dalai
not
Lama.
even.
We're not even like 30 years old, man. We haven't even seen like
I can
third
quote
of what life has to offer.
a UFC fighter. It's something that everybody's chasing and only a few men will learn to live. And man's tried to duplicate, can't find the recipe. So that's where you're left at.
Whoa, ho, 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 ho. That's an edgy one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
I know. I saw your face.
Shout out for him,
No, if you don't, if you guys don't notice, Aaron is memeing around over there. So
Yeah, and
next,
so Aaron, would you like to provide a background to what you're saying? Some
Yeah,
people might
they
not
snipped
understand.
my penis at 8 years old.
At
Or
8
8
years.
days old.
Yeah, and they gave you alcohol, and then they wonder why you turn out to be an alcoholic.
I got my first BJ by a rabbi.
And your parents paid for it.
Yeah, they paid 30 schmeckles for it.
Parents pay money for you to get a blowjob at 8 days old.
Yeah,
They hook
30
it up.
Bro, Aaron's been killing the game.
all right. So the next topic
Oh.
is about goals. What are goals? How to set goals? When to achieve goals? Everything about goals. And
Squad goal. I'm gonna screenshot this really quick and say squad goals. Hold up.
So goals are essentially what helps a lot of people organize themselves. It helps them motivate themselves in order to achieve something. And this dude's smiling already. You got something to say?
Did you say goals are like the compass for many people? A compass to keep them like on track in their own lives?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, I didn't use that word, but sure.
I was trying to add
That would be
it,
that's a good way to like describe it. It's like a compass. Keeps you on track.
Yeah, bro. Always
Goals
headed
do
north.
not keep you on track.
Yeah.
Goals do not keep you on track.
It depends what kind of goals you set. If you set realistic financial goals, you are definitely going to be able to meet them if you start saving money.
Not true.
Yeah, that is very true. If you set realistic goals one by one, and then you start putting your
if I
money
say,
in the
hold on,
right
hold on.
places.
Hold on. I say I'm gonna have let's say I'm gonna save $5,000.
Okay.
Okay. And that means that I take out $1,000 for like not $100 for like X amount of time to get that 5K, like out of my monthly check.
Okay.
Okay.
50 months.
Okay. Now 50 months.
But $100 is very little. That's what I'm saying. How much are you making?
50 months.
Like if you're making
Dude, it was
about
it was a hypothetical. It was
Yeah.
hypothetical, bro.
if you worked in the United States, you'd be able to put away at least 200 unless you're really living
Dude,
not
the
frugally.
number doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter. What I'm saying is when you set that goal, you're going for the $5,000 mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you know some shit happens, right? Where then either you can't save money this month, or you you crashed your car and now all that money you saved goes away. You know what I mean? Your priorities change all the time. It's
That's
not
okay.
the goal.
That goal still stays. That goal still stays
it's
because it should stay until you meet it, and then you could move on because it's a financial
your priorities determine your goals.
Yeah, but
So
again,
it's the priorities.
if you were trying to achieve this goal realistically, you wouldn't be putting
Are you
yourself
trying to
in a
achieve the
situation.
goal of interrupting me every 5 seconds? Damn.
Yes. Yes.
Damn, dude.
I apologize. Go. Go
No,
ahead.
dude, go ahead, man. Go ahead. It's all good.
It's about setting. You're right, your priorities could change, which is why, again, being responsible and trying to set realistic goals is important, because you could achieve those parallelly and you could save money. You could set apart, for example, your first goal I should set away money that is my emergency money. And that money you never touch. That money is the money that if your car breaks down, you buy a new car, you fix your car, something happens. That's something that it's about how, like, you know what I mean? Like, goals help if you start from the right place, if you recognize where you're at right now and what I need to do, and they help you put those priorities in the right place, because priorities do change, but sometimes you shouldn't let other priorities get you off track. You should be prepared for certain things to happen. Like the car example is a really good one.
But like, if your priorities, like, let's say my goal was to be an NBA player, okay, and I broke my ankle, okay. My next goal is, hey, let's recover my ankle. It's not, hey, I'm going to be an NBA player. You know what I mean? It's your priorities determine your goal. So it depends what's important to you, and it's always case by case. You can't crash your car and say, okay, I'm not going to think about fixing my car. I'm going to think about saving that 5K still. Like, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? You have to take things as they come. You can't just keep your goals, no matter what. That's not how it works.
Long-term goals and short-term
Because
goals.
if that was if that was true, then people would be achieving the goals like no matter what. You know what I mean? But that doesn't happen.
Well, the reason most of that doesn't happen is because a lot of people just don't. Well, financially speaking, it's because a lot of people don't even save money. Let's be real. Like 60% of fucking Americans don't save money. 60% of Americans are not ready for a $500 emergency.
And the majority
this month.
of Americans also always overspend. It's a thing in America. So even if they do have money to spend, let's say 40, they end up spending 60 because of payment plan. So not only do they not save, they also spend more than what they should.
It's unfortunate. It's a trap
Is
people
what it is.
fall in.
I take it from all three of you, actually. You had a good point. You have to set up a good system to achieving your goals. Like you said, an emergency plan. I agree with Aaron. The biggest deciding factor in the day-to-day to reaching those plans, besides for also, it's a combination of creating a kind of closest to fail-proof system to trying to obtain the goal is the smartest way to look at it. But let's say you started both at the same time, right? Or you started the emergency plan first and your car broke down. It's Aaron said, which is a great example. It happens to many, many people. And you put aside $1,500 and you've got $700 in savings towards that 5K that you're trying to save. And to fix your car, it costs $3,000. You don't even have enough to fix your car from both together. So your fail-safe plan failed and your savings plan failed. Now you can go and reset those goals once you manage to find out the problem that you already have, which is way worse than saving your money. But in that aspect, then your goals could change. Also, be prolonged for 6 months. Then 6 months down the line, you might have a completely different goal financially because
Correct.
you're doing something completely different. So, and then to fall into what you have short-term goals and long-term goals. If you're looking at it in a big bubble, with a very big variable of, as you said, priorities, which just come in. There's no way you could foresee priorities.
Yeah,
They pop themselves up all the time.
try to be prepared.
But I feel like we were only speaking about financial goals. I think there's many other goals that are to be reached before financial goals. I think financial goals is one that you can really put out there and measure, I guess you could say. But
it's just the easiest example I had.
It was a good example.
You know what I mean?
It was a very realistic example. A lot of people have I had my car stuck in Arizona and I didn't have enough money to fix it, and I needed my parents' help to send my trip back on a tow that cost $1,000 to bring it from Arizona to California. It sucked.
Yeah.
I had money saved, enough to pay my rent, pay my food, and still have money, but not enough to pay for that or fix my truck. So I didn't have enough to take care of any of it.
I feel that. That makes sense.
In that case, it's then your priorities just change the whole outcome. If I didn't have my parents to fall back on, it would have changed the whole outcome of me leaving fucking Arizona. And I already had my lease ended. I would have had to now add 10 things that are prior to priority to even moving my vehicle, which is now stuck.
Yeah.
Which would ruin any of the goals I had for the next five months.
Yeah.
You could have a goal of moving out or becoming your own boss or anything like that. And again, it's according to the situation, and it's according to how dedicated you are to doing what you want to do. How important it is to you, because also importance changes, how important things are to you. So if a goal becomes less important, it's not that you want it less, but maybe you go through life and you realize, hey, that's not really what I wanted. I just set I kind of ignorantly set that as a goal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Without having full knowledge or full perspective.
Yeah. I think that does happen too. Well,
nice cat, bro.
No thanks. She's hanging out.
Squad goals.
Showing off that booty though.
Dude, don't be showing no cat booty to the camera. That's not good.
Hey, she's showing her own booty, all right?
advertisers are not gonna like it. They are not gonna like it.
YouTube guidelines.
We spoke about. What were you
Wait.
saying, Ari?
We just finished talking about goals in general, and what basically is in charge of them. Aaron said priorities, right? So did we touch upon how?
I mean, I didn't say it's in charge, but
Well, you said it like kind of dictates the goal, your priority.
correct.
Yeah, and he said that priorities change.
Priorities change and also perspective changes.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
agree that
So
perspective changes. I think that priorities could just remain the same, and I think that's just summaries.
Nah, dude.
Summaries.
Priorities change,
You
bro.
set them. You can set them. If you set them, like we just disagree on this. I think because we
Dude,
just went over this.
Listen, bro. Listen, dude. I know we disagree and all that, but like, if you accidentally have a baby, that baby becomes first priority unless you're a piece of shit. So unless you're telling me that, hey, I'm gonna keep my priority about doing whatever this is, and instead of putting your kid as first priority.
I didn't want to see
Your priorities will change, but in a way, I still believe that you set your priorities and you control them. So you still you would set that priority as number one, but you'd still remember about your other priorities. And if anything, you'll set them as like
you still remember about your child, dude.
Yeah, you'd still put your child number one, right? You put the child number one, but then now think about it. If the child is number one, then for example, all your other goals in life are now becoming necessary to support that child and to support that child like coming up.
Not true.
Okay. So like having an apartment to raise the kid, having like a job to bring food is not like a priority for that. So like, you know what I mean? That's just the way I see it. And those are things that you decide to do. Those are priorities you set to yourself. Because if you set to yourself that you wouldn't do that, then you wouldn't do that. I just say you're in control. Not life is in control. You are in control at the end of the day.
No,
yeah, bro, you
actually,
just get
nobody's in control.
Paychecks.
Nobody's in control. What do you mean? This whole world is chaos, dude.
You're not control of what happens outside. You're control what happens inside here.
No, dude. Bro, life, it's like a current, dude. You just gotta go with it. There's no controlling it.
Laughs away.
You could just use that little like piece of wood to like turn yourself.
I kind of agree with Aaron's point. It's something I didn't want to bring up just yet, but like family, like you could set yourself even a simpler goal. Like let's say both of these are going to tie in or use fitness as the goal, and both of them are going to tie in two different situations where I agree with Aaron. If you're, let's say, a single person and you're overweight and you're trying to lose weight, but you're going to school, you have a job, you have a whole bunch of bills to pay, a whole bunch of stuff you need to do, you might not have time to reach that goal because priorities dictate that you just don't have the time. Now people be like, okay, you could always make the time, but I'm talking about in a schedule where you're completely full. You don't have time. You work 16 hours a day and you study online 3 hours a day. You sleep fucking 5 hours a day. And you have to pay for stuff. You just don't have time. Same thing if you have kids. If you have a family and let's say I want to pick up jujitsu and I'm 32 years old and I got 4 kids, your wife at home, and I work a job and I got to spend time with my kids, it's not going to happen. Our parents made a lot of sacrifices for us because there's just no time. You're the priority. Like it's over there. As much as you want to, the only way that you can get around it, which is where I was going to bring up the point that he brought up now with the like what happens if you have a kid. The only way to get around those is if you're selfish. If you're a selfish dad who says, you know what, 3 nights a week, I'm leaving my kids at home and I'm not going to invest time in them because I want to invest time in myself. I need me time. Yeah. That's the only way to get around it. Otherwise, your priority, your children dictates everything you're going to do from your paycheck to your private time. Your children's an investment. How much you invest in them so that they become a better person.
All right.
It's a rocky road.
So let's say one of our viewers is like just starting out life, all right? And they don't know what their goals are, right?
Like us.
Exactly.
Like us, dude.
What would you advise them to do in order to achieve their goal?
First things first.
I'm not going
to have a goal set in terms of what they want to do in life.
I'm not going to comment on this either.
I would say be productive. The first thing would be productive so that when you decide what goal you really want to obtain, we're talking in the long term, which is, I like the way you split it up with long term and short term. First, do something short term, be productive. Set yourself productive goals. If it's bettering yourself, taking time to learn a skill, getting a job so you're making money, which is the easiest. Do something productive so that when you learn and decide what you want to do, you'll have a strong foundation to build upon to be able to achieve that goal. because it starts with small goals before you can jump to a massive goal. Like everyone can say, I want to be a doctor, but there's many small goals you got to hit before you're actually going to be a doctor. In terms of your living situation, your own growth, income, a place to stay. So I would say first, like build a strong net to your base so that you can move yourself forward. That's my 2 cents in a simpler picture. What do you think, Ari?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, even if you don't know what that goal is yet, it's best to basically develop and give this dude smiles every time. Give yourself the tools in order to achieve that goal that you want to achieve, you know. Thanks, bro. Thanks for the love.
I'll give you a like. There you go, bud.
Thanks. But yeah, I mean, when to achieve those goals,
What was the question?
that's all different for everyone. You don't have to feel pressured to create goals or achieve them. You know, everyone has their own time for things. So
True that.
yeah, you know.
And one of the biggest ones I feel, if you feel like if you're at rock bottom, kind of what you're just not rock bottom, I'll say, but at the start would be
right at the start.
You have to use, don't be like super extreme and like not use some sort of reference, but everybody, like you said, Ari, I completely agree, is different. So don't view yourself harshly or measure everything that you're going to do based off of what other people have done. Find the good median, the healthy median to what works for you, because every person's going to do it in a different way, in a different like method. Find which one works for you and build upon that one instead of bashing yourself because you don't really know yet by measuring and getting overwhelmed by how other people are doing it. Find the recipe that makes your life work. Don't take everything too serious from others. Find the happy medium.
Exactly.
Like Aristotle said.
So like an example would be like if you want to get like a really high paying job, you know, you have to choose between learning how to work hard or learning how to work smart, you know, which working hard means like you can get like a job at McDonald's and you make sure that you hold on to the job for like 2 years. That's working hard. All right. And then there's working smart, which is, you know, getting educated and getting a degree so that you end up just kind of getting flicked to the top of that pyramid there, and you just sit at a desk all day and you can like answer emails and you get paid like $50K a year, you know, and that's
yeah, that
would be your goal.
Sounds like the life, bro. That sounds like the dream.
That's what my supervisor does.
Oh yeah, that guy's living, dude. He's, you know what happiness is? Your boss, dude. That's happiness.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. How far are we into this?
And set realistic goals so that you're also not going to demotivate yourself. Don't just jump in and tell yourself like, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in the next few months. I'm not saying it's not obtainable for certain people, but it could also demotivate and derail a lot of people if they don't hit that goal or see results very soon. Set yourself a smaller goal. Like, I'm going to save $200 or I'm going to lose 5 pounds in the next few months. Like, set yourself something that's realistic so you don't unmotivate yourself in trying to reach your long-term goal.
Not to even give like even smaller than that, bro.
Smaller
than that.
But to give that like a perfect example of like what we're literally just talking about. So I have a coworker that I work with. She's about like 25 years old, all right? And I think she's all right.
She good looking. I was gonna ask.
I'd say for most of the time I knew her, she would always tell me, I want to go back to school. I want to go back to school. I want to learn nursing, you know, and all that because I want to get the hell out of this job. All right. But then I'd say like about a year ago, she was like, I want to get pregnant by the end of the year. And I was like, dang.
Yeah, you
okay.
know why? Because she doesn't want to work anymore.
and then 6 months later,
Was that
boom,
child?
I find out that she's pregnant.
Prego.
And that's
Dude,
exactly
these
what
bitches
Aaron was
plan
talking
shit
about, where
so,
like
ahead of
now
time, bro.
now her priorities have shifted to the point where she can't like immediately go back to school right now because she knows that she's about to what is it? Give birth to a
About a
baby
giant baby.
in about
Yeah.
like 3 months. Okay. And her priorities have to shift. She can't just, say, fuck it, I'm going to school. Like this baby can, suck it. I don't know.
Damn. Wish she
And
got like
people
a
should
6-inch
feel
clitoris.
lucky, man. 50 years ago, man, we didn't have that. Even 25 years ago, bro, we didn't have that online learning, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got
Right,
a
but I
happy
mean,
medium. She did at home.
I don't know
Online
how much
learning.
of a nursing certificate you can get just by doing online shit. I'm pretty sure you have to like learn how to put it like an IV and
Wipe
everything.
people's asses. Yeah.
Yeah, the lobotomy classes.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
like,
online. What are you talking about? Dude? Online live birth. Right? He's just walking through the internet, bro. Through the Zoom. Get woke.
yeah, that's like a real life example of what Aaron was talking about in priorities and shifting
Yes.
and everything. Because and the thing she told me, she's like, after I give birth, she said like maybe like a couple months after, that's when she's gonna go back to, wanting to go back to school. So
Yeah. Let's give myself a giant roadblock and a giant like time vacuum of like having a kid, and then let's do important shit.
Does she have a
Hey.
providing husband or providing
No,
boyfriend?
she has
that
a
can
baby
possibly
daddy.
assist?
No, it's a baby daddy.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
it's okay because
Listen, I don't
So
want to
she's
say
just getting
screwed
child
because
support,
I'm
bro.
all power to
That's
the
all she wanted.
single moms. You rock. Like single moms, I support you. Like, let's go. Like, you can do it. It's just a lot harder.
Dude, I'm all for single moms and all that, but like, stop letting motherfuckers come inside of you and then be like, "Oh shit, poor me." You know what I mean? Like,
no,
what's
no,
wrong
no.
with
She
you
wanted it.
people?
She's
I'll give you
okay.
an example.
She was
I work
completely
with a chick.
at
She's got
peace
2
with it.
kids.
She wanted it.
Yeah, she wanted it, but she's gonna screw herself. I work with a chick who's 22. She's got 2 kids from 2 different baby daddies. She doesn't have a boyfriend or a husband. She dropped out of high school because she got pregnant at 17. And I asked her, like, do you plan on going back to school? And she said, at the moment, I cannot. So she's not only limited in the amount of time she can work as a waitress, she also, like, I don't, like, all power to her. But, like, she's now put, like, as you said, a whole bunch of roadblocks in the way to actually obtaining something better than a waiter job.
Exactly.
If she's content with it, all power to you. But, like, I just think that she's made her life a lot harder.
If not just that, dude, the kids' lives too, bro.
Yeah, it's
The
like
kids'
life on
lives are
hardcore
harder.
difficulty.
Well, I mean, she lives with her parents still, and she's obviously gonna rely on her mom to help take care of the baby. So
See, what happens is there's a saying: it's if you discipline, if you raise your kids, you can spoil your grandkids. But if you spoil your if you spoil your kids, you raise your grandkids.
dang, okay, that makes sense.
Yep, you made a great point. I know somebody very well who has a daughter who has kids, and he says, I don't want to have to raise these kids. I want to be able to spoil my grandkids. I don't want to have to raise my grandkids. So I understand.
Right.
A real dude for stepping up and taking on the task is supposed to do if you're a family person. But I can understand that you just pointed out. You made a very good point. Coming also from the word of that person, that he would rather not raise kids. He's already, raised, I guess you say, spoiled kids. It's a difficult game we play.
Yeah, man, it's like I said, it's like you just in the selection lobby for the game of life, you just choose like hardcore difficulty. That's what you would get.
Well, That's how everybody learns, dude. We don't learn from easy shit.
You switch into survival mode in Minecraft.
That's right, bud. No floating around, building shit in midair.
The
That's
zombies actually
That's
hurt.
only when you're dead and you're a floating angel. You build shit.
Oh my god.
Build
Anyway.
a tower to the moon.
Yo, I think this podcast was this episode was really good. We talked about a lot of things.
Is this you attempting to do an outro, bro?
Oh hell yeah, man. Dude, my intro
He's
and
attempting
outro
to do an
has-
outro by telling our viewers that we
Listen,
make good content.
my intros and
It's good
outros are
content.
always gonna have Aaron heckling me. Like, even if they're good, he's gonna be like, "Oh, nice, bud!" Like right at the end, because he just has to add his 2 cents.
What are you doing the Disney Channel like Mickey Mouse head thing right now? What are you doing?
No, he's doing the self-sale, bro. He's like, listen, I promise you. He's doing that Middle Eastern. I've got a good product. I'm telling you, you should look into it. My product is really good. We're putting out good product. Like, you should buy. Like,
You should buy.
watch the ad. Like,
Dude,
watch
don't be
the
throwing no
ad.
product on YouTube, bro. You know better than that.
Yeah, please don't press skip ad. You know, like let it run through.
Oh, like
We need the
monetize
pennies.
videos,
We
you
need the
fucking
pennies,
dweeb.
guys. Please,
Dude, nobody
like,
likes ads, bro.
Dude,
please like and
yeah,
subscribe
I
at
hate
least.
ads.
No, don't
No,
like
bro,
and
we like
subscribe. If
ads,
you don't,
bro. We like them. I always
No.
watch ads.
Okay, you just lying at this point.
dude, Ari watches Tampax ads for fun.
Yeah. Ari wears Depends.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, I wear adult diapers, all right? I'm scared. I'm paranoid.
Priorities. Turn yourself into an adult baby.
Just like in That's My Boy.
Hashtag goals.
Hashtag go.
Well,
All
when
right.
you get a little white dog that looks like a dire wolf from Game of Thrones.
Anyway, to wind down this podcast, like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see, I guess. We
That's
have
like
like
saying, hey, tip your waiter. Like, the fuck, bro? Just if people like it, they'll like it. Okay, you don't have to tell them, hey, remember to like it, bud.
Remember, we got good content, bro.
Hey guys, make sure you let us know if it's good.
Well, it works for all the other YouTubers. Why shouldn't it work for us? Come on, at least we wait till
Dude,
the end to ask for it.
That's not why, dude. That's not why people like and comment and subscribe, because the guy at the end says, "Okay, dude, guys, make sure you do it."
Bro, people
Aaron,
will be
perfect
saying it at the
example.
beginning
Listen,
of the
people
video
can
now.
sell-
They're
Yeah,
like,
bro.
like, yo, subscribe
Listen, Aaron,
if
people
you want to
could
see
sell
more.
sex appeal. You and me just know we're sex appeal. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta say it.
Exactly. We don't need to be like, "Hey, like us, man." Everybody, if somebody likes us or dislikes us, don't matter. We move on with our lives.
Yeah. Go get me a
Dude.
Fig Newton.
Dude, there's 9-year-olds creating YouTube accounts like every day.
All right. I think
Listen,
we brought up 9-year-olds. We're done. We're done here.
Yeah, let's call it.
Oh yeah, Mr.
All
No
right.
Context.
Peace out.
Please flag this video. We mentioned 9-year-olds. Thanks, YouTube.